Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the All Star Wrestling Review Series. This is the April 14th edition of All Star Wrestling 1979. Love these 1979 shows, as I have said before. Wish they had 83 through 85 up and all of 82, but maybe we'll get there someday. For right now, we're grateful for what we have, and what we have is the April 14th, 1979 edition, which is hosted by Vince McMahon, Bruno Sammartino as, I guess, always. Dominic DeNucci defeating Mike Hall, 524 with an airplane spin. DeNucci kind of lost in the shuffle here, although can be used as a guy to kind of get, whatever they need to out of him in a sense. In the sense of, he is a former tag team champion, mainstay guy, playing to the Italian market as is always the case, and ultimately getting where he needs to get in a simple way. Hall, I don't know, has done a bunch here. I think he might have been here once or twice before in earlier 70s shows. Headlocks, punches, kicks, real basic stuff, and of course, airplane spin by DeNucci, probably taken from Dino Bravo, who we haven't seen in a while, and I will assume has left the territory for greener pastures. Seems to be quite a turnover in the spring of 1979. Also, some nice go-behinds and collegiate style wrestling by DeNucci. DeNucci, of course, getting the win with the airplane spin, although doesn't get it immediately, but gets it quick enough to where the enhancement talent really doesn't have an option. Hussein Arab is here for his second match, at least on this program, facing off against, or at least second for our run here, facing off against Steve King with Fred Blassie after ramming King headfirst into loaded boot prior to the bout. Hussein does the demonstration with the Persian clubs yet again and attempts to demonstrate. King attempts as well. King was able to pick up the clubs but was unable to do the demonstration. Vince interviews Arab and Blassie at ringside post-match. Basically, the idea behind this is pretty simple. Trying to get heel heat on a guy that I don't know that they knew they were going to go major with him at this point. Probably not in 1979, but certainly trying to get heat on a guy that has major value, and the continuation of Fred Blassie being the guy to handle major heels. King, again, has been around the majority in the, the New England and tri-state area. Hard chops and modified clotheslines by Arab, and I don't know why he's going by Hussein Arab. Maybe that was the name he was using around the horn at the time, and the Iron Sheik name came later to be more marketable. Don't really know, but again, running the man into the boot, gets the victory, and obviously he makes Arab, aka the Iron Sheik, making fun of anyone who can't do the clubs, but also anyone who is in a situation where they are not bowing to Iran. Ted DiBiase returns yet again here, still North American champion, so they haven't abandoned that championship quite yet. That's coming, I believe, in the summer months, but it's close at hand here anyway. Then we move to DiBiase with Mr. X, 734. With an elbow drop, DiBiase gets the victory here, and obviously, being a champion, they want to accentuate his positives. Head scissors, kind of a rollback, kind of gets the torque up on that, stays with the hold for a couple of minutes. Mr. X is actually given a little bit of offense, tying DiBiase up by the feet, but then DiBiase hits a monkey flip. Deep arm drag, and some basic stuff here. Ultimately, things are going pretty okay, and then we see Mr. X, using using some cheating tactics, getting a near fall after a leg drop, and some other basic things. DiBiase, though, manages to get a cross body and a near fall, hits some leapfrogs, and eventually gets a couple of elbow smashes. One thing I would say is that DiBiase not having a finish here hurts him, although his execution of submission holds and execution of just everything looks really good. Not having a submission hold probably not doing him a whole world of good. We see the return of another of the, I guess you'd say, grizzled veterans. Bulldog Brower at the time with Captain Lou Albano defeats John Smith 2-13 with a knee drop. Bauer had been heavily pushed in the previous weeks, hadn't been here in a couple of weeks, but they seem to be bringing him back around again, probably to get a little bit of match with Backlund out of him, if at all possible. Attempted takedowns. Bauer, obviously the brawler type, punch kick, and ultimately gets the victory in really quick order. Bauer obviously not wanting to waste a whole abundance of energy in a 2-minute squash. We then move to the what amounts to be the final match of the day. Ivan Putski and Steve Travis. Steve Travis, of course, the Rookie of the Year. Bad News, Alan Cottage, and Baron Mikhail Cicluna, 9:54. Travis pinning Cicluna with a sunset flip. Travis getting the win is a big thing here because of the rookie nature. Big body slams by Travis, and Travis, for the most part, stays in there with Bad News Alan Cottage, who eventually becomes Bad News Brown. Cicluna comes in, cuts him off, heavy forearms and other strikes, breaks the bootlaces across the eyes and such. Cicluna obviously been around since the 50s, pretty big deal here. Weird to see Bad News Allen with hair, weird to kind of see them cutting the ring off on Travis early. Finally gets a hot tag to Putski, but the same fate kind of befalls Putski here over the next several minutes as Cicluna manages to get several chokeholds and basic things here, and ultimately hard shots and all of that along the way. Irish whip and kick and basic things there, and ultimately Travis does get kind of taken over on. Cicluna stays with him, kind of testing him a little bit. Travis, with good fire, also really good at looking weary in a match. We see Brown come back in, and or Cottage come back in, and he manages to take the kid to the buckle, and several more shots. But eventually Putski and Travis do get the win. To close the show, we'll be back with more right after this.